everybody, welcome back to the 31 Days of Horror. I am your host, Mood616, and thank you once again for stopping in, guys. Yes, day 4 is here on the 31 Days of Horror volume tray, and for today, we're going to take it all the way back to the glorious year of 1968 with a film that does have a little bit of a history, and it's an oddity. It's an oddity. Film in question here is called The Satanist. Yes. Quick little background on this one. Apparently this film was actually deemed completely lost by film archives or whatever. There apparently was absolutely no prints of this film left, and unbelievably enough, they actually found one 35mm print of this film, which actually gave us this release. This film had never been released ever on any home media format before, so that's kind of interesting that it finally got released. I believe this year, actually, this release came out, so that's always cool. I always love to hear those type of things when a film is deemed lost and they actually find a print and they're actually able to put something out. I think that's just very, very cool. So, anyways, getting to the synopsis of this film from 1968, basically we have this couple that has moved from the big city out into the, the small town out in the sticks area, because the husband is a writer and he's been suffering from a nervous breakdown. So due to doctor's orders to take it easy, they kind of move out of the city to resume his writings and stuff like that. So once they get there, one day they go for a drive and they end up hitting their neighbor with their car. She kind of bounces up like nothing has happened. She invites the couple in for a drink where, she's obviously a very eccentric type, strange person, and she also admits that she's into the occult and things like that. Anyways, the couple goes back home. The husband starts having these weird visions, and he's being met in his dreams by these succubuses, things like that. One thing leads to another. The couple ends up getting invited back over to this place, even though they know that something's up with her, or she might have an ulterior motive. They still accept the invitation and go over there. So that is your film right there. So my thoughts on this one, wow. This is an oddity. This is a very interesting film. Where do I start here? Now, 1968, this one's shot in black and white, kind of very reminiscent of another famous film from 1968 called Night of the Living Dead that was shot in black and white, which we know that one was shot in black and white for budget constraints. This one, I'm assuming also. The other odd thing about this film is that it's actually shot with no sound. And that's very strange for the time because, in those times, these type of sexploitation films were more or less shot in color, and I thought that was very interesting. But yes, this one is shot with no sound and is in black and white, so it's kind of an oddity in itself like that. But, so basically what we have here, a film that's shot with no sound, we have a soundtrack that plays throughout the whole movie, and it's narrated by the husband. He's basically comes in every once in a while and explains what's going on in these scenes. So you get a little bit of narrative in the film, which is maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and the other 90% of the film is sexploitation type scenes. I kid you not, this movie has so much skin and simulated sex in this, it's just ridiculous. Now, I was about 15 minutes into this movie and I realized, I didn't realize, but I checked the running time on it. It's only an hour long. This movie's only 62 minutes long, so it's like, holy shit. So I would say 90% of this film is like sexploitation. Now, if you're not into sexploitation type stuff, then I wouldn't recommend seeing this one, but it just caught me right off guard. I couldn't believe how long these scenes were going on and on and on, and we got these weird voiceovers with this like Middle Eastern soundtrack playing up throughout the whole music. We do get a little bit of plot, a little bit of narrative. It starts to go into a little bit of mythology with, the day of Sabbath and other mythologies to do with the devil and things like that, and some occult stuff, but there's not a whole lot of that. It's more or less about succubuses and sexploitation in itself. So it's just like the oddest watch, but this one right here isn't going to be for everybody. It's not even really for myself a whole lot, but I did find it oddly entertaining. I think it's more or less, I was kind of shocked at what I was watching because I wasn't expecting it to be more or less more of a sexploitation than a horror film. It definitely has its horror elements. It's about devil worshipping, essentially is what it is. But they just did it very oddly within the story. So it has one of those endings where you pretty much know where it's going. There's not really a lot to be desired with it, to be honest. But all in all, it's a strange film. I'm glad I did pick this up because it's always cool to have a film in your collection that's just getting released 46 or 47 years after the fact. and which was deemed to be lost. So I think that's pretty cool in itself. But you know, I have to say, GarageHouse Pictures did a great job with this release. The Blu-ray looks phenomenal. Like, the 35mm print they found probably was in pretty good shape. Because the 4K restoration on this looks beautiful. It really does. It sounds good and everything. The other cool thing is there's actually a bonus feature on here called Sisters in Leather, which I believe is like a lesbian biker film, which I eventually will check out, so that's kind of cool. But again, for the hardcore people that want to check out this type of stuff, if you're not into sexploitation, I don't recommend this film really to a lot of people, because I know a lot of people like their horror more than their sexploitation. But yeah, The Satanist, I'm probably going to go with about a 4.5 out of 10 on this one. It's definitely not really even for me, but it was mildly entertaining. I think maybe because I was just so weirded out by the structure of the film, but it's a quick watch, so if you want to check it out, give it a quick little watch. But I don't recommend it. But The Satanist, yeah, definitely an oddball film. So the first 3 days went really, really well, which, you know, we always have these blunders in the 31 Days of Horror. Just wanted to check this one out. I picked this one up a couple months solely to check it out during the 31 days. And hey, sometimes they just don't work out, do they? Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for day 4. I will check you guys in day 5. Again, no idea what I'm doing. See you there. Peace!